so that she was a different person when she showed up. So the person speaking the words was vibrating at a different level. So that person was pulling in all the energies that are there for us. I love getting emails like that. I love helping people. Yes, thank you for acknowledging Barbara. One of the most important things I want to share with you, and please hear this, is that nobody on this hill, on this stage, on this planet is more powerful than you. Nobody is more powerful than you. We are all equally powerful. We have all been given equally that connection to the great source. It's not that some of you have one connection, some of you have less of a connection. Some of you, when they were giving out a connection, were in the bathroom in heaven and then came out and they were all gone and it's too late. There is no drop of water that is more wet than another. All of us, all of you, each of you has unbelievable power. The question is, what are you doing with it? The great Carlos Castaneda, the great mystic and seer and writer, said, we either make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves strong. But the amount of work is the same. Isn't that fantastic? We either make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves strong. But the amount of work is the same. What does he mean? You have the big power. The question is, what are you doing with it? Do you use it unconsciously to hold yourself back? Do you use it to sabotage yourself? Do you use it to push people away? Do you use it to disqualify yourself? What are you doing with it? This is a fantastic question, worth consideration. What do I do with my power from moment to moment to moment? There is nothing holding you back from total greatness except for you. That's the good news. Doesn't matter what you think it is. It doesn't matter what you tell yourself it is. Christopher Reeve, the late actor and activist, right before he died, said, most people have the full use of their arms and their legs, and yet they are more paralyzed than I am. Isn't that an amazing quote? Most people have the full use, and yet they're holding themselves back. There is nothing missing inside of you. I really want you to hear this. Some of you think there's something missing. I can't be blank because I'm not blank. You can fill it in your mind right now, right? I can't do this because I'm a full-time mother. I can't be a speaker. I'm not charismatic. I can't make a difference in life because I have problems. I can't do something that really matters because look at all the things I've done in my past. Nothing is missing inside of you. Close your eyes for a moment and just say to yourself, nothing is missing in me. Nothing is missing in me. Affirm it to yourself. Thank you. Nothing is missing in me. Turn to someone else and say it. Say, hey, nothing's missing in me. Nothing. Nothing. It is not something that's missing that's the problem. It's stuff that's there that shouldn't be. And this is, again, the work that I do. What are you carrying around with you that isn't working, that is in your way? When I do my breakthrough seminar, which I know a lot of you have been to, it's so, yes, you can cheer. The whole thing is so simple because I don't teach anybody anything. I help them get rid of stuff. To get rid of stuff, get rid of stuff. There's so many things that block us. I have a saying, our pictures are our prisons. Our pictures are our prisons. We see the world through the lens of our issues. Isn't that a scary thought? We see the world through the lens of our issues. So we interpret events wrong. We get feedback incorrectly. We don't get what's really going on. What's the solution? Get rid of the issues. Get rid of the issues. Figure out what they are. Release them. It doesn't even take that much work. How many of you know you have issues? How many of you are sick of the issues? How many of you are so familiar with them you could describe them as an expert? See, some people think personal growth, real personal development, is becoming an expert on your issues. That is not what it's about. I know people, and they say, oh, I've done this, this, and this, and they describe their issues in detail. Are they still running your life? I was at the airport recently, of course I always am, and I got a baggage cart to put my bags on to get ready to go out to the car. And I put the bags on the baggage cart, and I started wheeling it, and the baggage cart was defective. And one of the wheels was frozen, so that when I wheeled the cart, it would go in a circle. So I couldn't go forward. So I was wheeling the cart around like this. And I started laughing. And I thought, here we are. This is life, isn't it? This is life. Our wheels get stuck, and we start going around in circles instead of being able to go forward. I tried everything I could to unstick the wheel. I finally had to pull the cart behind me in circles to get to the car. It took a long time. Of course, I wasn't resentful because I knew it was a perfect story, and I would be able to use it, and I was grateful that it happened to me, and I thanked the defective cart for its retarded wheel because it helped me see how much of the time we, instead of going, something's wrong with the cart, we get used to wheeling our thing in circles. We get used to doing strange things to get through our life and navigate through, because we don't want to actually say, where's the wheel that needs fixing? Where's the wheel that needs fixing? Where's your wheel that needs fixing? Without judgment, without disqualifying yourself, in love. Where is the wheel that needs fixing? What needs to be adjusted? These are questions of the real seeker. These are questions of the true seeker. Making your vision bigger than your story. Making your clarity bigger than whatever it is that's holding you back. This is called the principle of the second element in metaphysics. I want to share this principle with you. All the principles I teach my students and then I live myself, they're all metaphysical principles. I've been a very serious student of the spiritual path for a long, long time. The principle of the second element says, when there is darkness, you do not get rid of it by fighting the darkness, cursing the darkness, analyzing the darkness. What do? Bring in the light. Say it. Bring in the light. Inside of you, you have fear. You have insecurity. You have concerns. You have issues. The way to really rise above them is to bring in the light, to bring in something else, to bring in a connection to yourself that goes beyond whatever your issues are. I have issues standing here right now, and I transcend them to do my work. My issues do not disqualify me. Your issues do not disqualify you. How many of you have been disqualifying yourself for some reason, silently, secretly? Release it. Throw it into the fire right now. Let today be the last day you disqualify yourself. I don't care what you've done, who you are, what your life looks like. It doesn't matter. Do you know what qualifies you? Your vision. Do you know what qualifies you? Your desire. Do you know what qualifies you? Your love. You are qualified to serve. You are qualified to teach. You are qualified to heal. You are qualified to do your assignment. This is your time, right now. And it doesn't matter what else is in the way. It doesn't matter what you've been telling yourself. Except some of you have not been using the principle of love to move yourself forward. This morning I was listening to the staff warming up and doing this fantastic chant that they did about serving everybody. It was the Harvecker chant. It was absolutely wonderful. And I know the things you all do in your seminars. Let me ask you, do you love yourself like that? How do you talk to yourself? How do you motivate yourself? We have two choices in the world, always, in each moment, fear or love. Some of you have been trying to scare yourselves forward, and it will not work. Scare yourselves forward. Push yourselves forward. Beat yourself up to go forward. It is a tactic. It will work temporarily, but it is not the way to truly ascend. I have a saying. I promise my students I do it with them. Love yourself forward. How many of you have children? God bless them. When you have a little child who's learning to walk, and it's falling down and it's unsure, and it takes a step, just one little step, and it's lying on the ground looking at you, not quite sure what happened. It was its first step. What do? You took a step! Fantastic! I'm so proud of you. What if that little child took a step and you sat there and you said, big deal, one step. So what? You fell down right away. That's nothing. That kid down the street just took 20 steps. When you can run back and forth 10 times, I'll be excited, but not until then. When your child's learning to talk, and it says something kind of unintelligible, but it's supposed to be a word, you get so excited. Oh, you said my name. And it thinks I did. I thought I was burping, but it really, really feels like it said something, and so you promise it that you will honor that moment, and it learns to speak. What if every time it tried to talk, you said, excuse me, that was just completely inarticulate. You sounded like an idiot. Unless you can get it out, just don't talk for a while. How do you speak to yourself when you take your steps? How do you speak to yourself when you are learning how to share? How do you speak to yourself about the progress you have been making? Some of you have come here and used this incredible environment to feel bad about yourself. I'm not doing as well as her. Oh my God, I heard what she's doing. She was at my last seminar. She's doing so much better than me. Oh my gosh, listen to that person on the stage. I can't do that. Love yourselves forward. Love yourselves forward. Love yourselves forward. If there's nothing else you hear, love yourselves forward. Your inner being will thrive on that love. Will thrive on it. And love other people forward as well. Love is a magical, amazing ability that we all have that makes amazing, amazing difference. There's a wonderful saying by a famous Persian poet, Kabir, and he says, the winds of grace are always blowing, but it is you who must raise your sails. The winds of grace are always blowing, but it is you who must raise your sails. What does that mean? It means, my dear ones, you will be helped in what you are supposed to do. You will be helped. See, some of you are waiting for a sign from the universe. I need a sign from the universe, and then I'll blank, right? Start my new business, become a trainer, sign up for something, go be a teacher, whatever it is. Decide to have another relationship. I'm just waiting for some sign. I'm waiting to know it's going to be okay. You're really not waiting for a sign. You're waiting for a contract. You're waiting for a contract, a map with a timetable, a promise from God. If you do this, everything will be fine. What if the universe is waiting for you? Think about that. What if the universe is waiting for you? What if all the support, the opportunities, the karmic connections, the magical moments of meeting, what if it's all waiting for you because you are holding back? Take your step. Take your step. Take your step. I call it the pathless path. You don't have to see the second step and the third step and the fourth step and the fifth step. Take one step. The universe will guide you, will direct you. Raise your sails. The winds, the beautiful winds we can feel right now, the winds of grace will fill them. The right people will come. Haven't your teachers always showed up at the right time? Haven't they? And they will. But you need to raise your sails, whatever that means. Raise your sails higher than they are. Raise your sails wider than they are. As you heard Harv say, my work focused mostly for many, many years on being on television a lot, doing book tours a lot, writing books, and not working, and working with very big groups, and not working a lot one-on-one. It got to a point where it became very time-consuming. And because I had a huge organization to support, I needed a huge income. And when you need a huge income, you need to do huge things. One-on-one work tends to vanish. It's the first thing that goes. People would beg me, please, can you take on clients to mentor? Please, can you do the small intimate seminars you used to do? And I said, I can't. I would love to, but I don't have time. Several years ago, when I was in my period of rebirth myself, I got a very clear message that I wasn't supposed to go out and try to do the huge things like I used to do in the way I did them. Every week I would get an offer to do a television show, and I was turning them down, and I couldn't understand why. I thought, why am I turning these things down? They didn't feel right to me. And then suddenly I got it. I got it. That there were people who were ready to cross their threshold. And my assignment was to help them make that journey. I'm not talking about the threshold to the other world. I'm talking about the threshold in this world, the threshold of awakening. There were people ready to come out of the closet, and I needed to be there to help them understand what was happening to them. And that is when I began to do the work that I'm doing now. Everybody thought I was crazy, crazy. You spend years building up the things that I build up. I didn't care, and I still don't. I still don't because of a Barbara Wheeler or because of, the Wrights or any of the other fantastic people in here, all of my students who I've worked with. I didn't care because my assignment was clear to me. So I am so excited to tell you about what I do. It's not for everybody, but it's for somebody. Some of you came here just for this. How many of you already heard something you needed to hear? Raise your hands if you heard something. Thank you. Thank you. Then I am so happy. I would love to invite any of you who would like to take the next part of your journey with me. It would be my honor to support you. It'd be my honor to help you. It is my highest joy. Nothing gives me greater pleasure. I have no use anymore for the kind of fame or anything that I had. It may happen again. I may get a TV show that I want and do it. It doesn't even matter to me. What matters to me is that I do what I'm here to do, just like what matters to you right now is that you do what you're here to do. Before I do something that I would like you all to participate in to end, I just want to say that I want to dedicate this gathering for me and my offering to you here to my mother. My mother was just told that she's about to die very quickly as a total shock. And she has very serious terminal cancer, and it's very aggressive. My mother taught me what the love business is about. Her name is Phyllis. When there was horrible, horrible experiences in my childhood, she loved me unconditionally. I didn't fly home right away to see her because I had promised to come here. And I knew she would want me to come here. I told her about this, and I was trying to explain it. She's not into any of this, so she couldn't quite grasp it. But she told me how proud she was of me. And I know, because she never had money, her life was not fancy. Everything she had, practically, I gave her. But she is going to leave this earth a rich woman because she has so much love in her heart. Because she lived every minute of it. She loved my stepfather, and they were in love until he died. The day he died, she embraced him on the bed, and I helped him transition. She has emptied her bundle. There's nothing left. And so she can go. And so I honor her and anyone in your lives who has taught you love, has been your love teacher. And to complete, I want to send out 7 blessings to the world altogether. Would you do that with me? 7 blessings, because this is 7707. And we have the power here, not just to think about ourselves, not just to think about helping the world when we get back. Right now, right here in this moment, we have the power. So would you please stand up wherever you are, just stop for a moment. This is the real point of my entire presentation. Nothing else really matters but this. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, please. I'm going to have you participate with me in sending out 7 blessings right now. And yes, you can feel nature responding immediately, kissing you with the wind. Our first blessing is to the earth. The earth that supports us, the earth that feeds us, the earth that allows us to have this journey, the earth that unconditionally is committed to us in spite of anything we do back, our earth that needs our love so it can be healed whole and continue to bless us with the amazing gifts and abundance. I would like you to breathe in the love from the whole group, the whole hill. Breathe in, feel all the love, and when you exhale, send it down into the earth. Send it down to the earth. Once more, breathe in the love from our gathering of souls. Exhale, I bless the earth with my love. Next, think about all the people on this planet who are suffering right now. Suffering in war, suffering with hunger, suffering with loneliness, suffering with fear, suffering alone in hospitals. Maybe people you know. Feel the suffering, the tears of the planet. Breathe in the love from our group. Breathe it in. Exhale. I bless the suffering with my love. Again, breathe in the love from the group. I bless the suffering with my love. May all suffering cease. Next, think about all those who are sick or forgotten or alone or homeless or hopeless on this planet. So many people who will not experience the preciousness of the love we are experiencing right now. Let us send them blessings so that for a moment they feel something, some love, a wisp of wind come by them, a smile from somewhere deep inside. Breathe in all of our love. Exhale and imagine all those beings who are suffering, alone, hopeless. I bless the hopeless with my love. Next, think of all the light workers, all the people who are there bringing and raising the vibration of the planet with sacrifice, with devotion, wherever they are, whether they do it through religion or education or politics. All the light workers, the invisible ones who are working on the planet, and you know they're there. You see them. You wish them well. Breathe in the love and exhale. With my love, I bless the light workers on this planet, including Harv Eker, the wonderful, great incarnated soul warrior soul, and yourself as a light worker. Next, think of all the teachers, all your teachers, your gurus, your parents, your friends, your partners, your karmic teachers, those you haven't forgiven, those you admire, those you've already heard this weekend, those yet to see, all the teachers who are standing in the front lines of bringing the light onto the planet. Breathe in our love. With my love,